Morning, how you guys doing? Good. My name is Michael. I'll be your tour guide today. And then when they're all marked, they go around with a sledgehammer and drift and they bash them right back in again.
The Americans say, well, if we didn't kill you with the first 3 or 4 rounds, you'll probably kill us, so it doesn't matter.
I remember the first time I walked in this building, 12 years ago, and going, I'd heard, oh, he has some tanks at his house. When I walked up here and saw the size of this collection and the quality, and all the vehicles in these buildings have been restored to running condition. The total collection is about 300 vehicles. It's the world's largest private tank collection. Of those 300 vehicles, a lot of them are like a wheeled vehicle here, like a armored reconnaissance vehicle would be a good example. A lightly armored half-track, a tank destroyer, which is tracked but open top, and then we have tanks themselves, actual battle tanks, approximately 80 of those.
The whole concept was to preserve a technology development through military vehicles that otherwise would just disappear from the face of the earth. The vehicle behind me here is a World War II American M3A1 Scout car. This was actually the very, very first vehicle that Jacques Littlefield acquired. He was 17 years old.
It's open top, lightly armored with 4 rubber tires, and he bought that in the mid-70s.
By 1983, he'd acquired his first tank, which was an M5 Stuart tank. By 1985, he had 6 tanks.
And then all of a sudden this became a passion, and he started buying tanks worldwide. About 10 years ago, he knew he had cancer, colon cancer. Unfortunately, he died about 3 years ago after a 10-year battle, so he died at 59.
We reorganized the place and decided to do regular tours, paying tours, to bring some revenue to the foundation. And by some stroke of luck, whether good or bad, I ended up controlling that whole portion of the foundation activities. Now I'm a paid member of the staff.
After his death, then all the mechanics positions disappeared, and so then now we do the tours, and I actually was given a choice. Do you want to keep restoring some vehicles, or do you want to do tours? And I said, I think I'd rather do the tours, because you get to see the people's expression and answer their questions, and it's very rewarding, being able to tell them about the history of this collection and what the things are and how they operate.
And the loader would grab one, flip it over here, put it in the loading tray, and then very carefully, you never push it in like this. You either push it in like this or like this, and you'll see the reason why. Yeah, because if you go like this, you leave your fingers in there. I want to give a general idea of interaction between, of why things were done, whichever way they were done. You can only support a big enough size of a gun so that it wouldn't bang on the other side of the turret. So they actually had to stretch out the turret and put a big muzzle brake. Plus, I want people to have fun, so.
When people walk in here, you can see the smiles on their face and their eyes light up, and even if they don't know anything about tanks.
Between the tour guides and the actual vehicles themselves, I think, really you get a feel for what it was like serving as a tank crew member, or the role of armor, and how it shaped many military conflicts in the past.
When people come in, especially people who never served in the military, you show them, for example, how cramped the tank is inside, and because people don't know, all they see is a tank, and they think, oh, it's it's such a super machine that nothing can hurt it and whatnot. So people don't realize how bad it is inside the tank in combat.
It's kind of a funny thing is we don't ask people on tours if they were tankers. The reason is, war is a terrible thing, and it's bloody, it's nasty, it's ruthless, it's cruel, and inhumane, among other things. And so we typically don't ask, because a lot of people still have post-traumatic stress.
We hope that they come away with a little more respect for the veterans, you know, including the people who are serving in the military right now in the war zones, and we give them a little more understanding of war and why it's bad, and why, you know, people should think about it before committing to war.
People need to look backwards in order to be able to look forwards in a sensible way, and it's one of the things I think is lacking in our modern society. People don't think back, so they're, you know, repeating the same mistakes again. And most of these things are here because of other people's mistakes.
The impression I get is really people that have an interest in military history, it seems to be waning.
People just don't know their history, so we try to give them a little slice of military history.
To appreciate military history, you understand conflict, and to understand conflict, you understand human nature and just society, culture, religion, politics, all of those things, and how they sort of accumulate and how they mobilize people. And, you know, military conflict, I think, is the penultimate mobilization of people, to get people to go out there and engage in combat with other people.
Hopefully somebody who came here would be inclined to look some of this stuff up later on Wikipedia or on the computer, or read a book about some battle that we talked about here or something else, and, you know, it would improve their understanding.
It's, you know, you can say, wow, that's really cool, that's a great looking machine, etc. But the only reason they've been developed is to kill people. That's the reason they're here. So that's the really the one lesson that should be learned from all this. Don't repeat the same mistakes again.